Behind every major political figure, there's always a story that's rarely told. But this one is more shocking than you'd ever expect. Caroline Leavitt's journey to the White House isn't just impressive. It's packed with twists and surprises, just like her family's incredible history. When people found out who Trump's new press secretary is married to, they were completely stunned. Caroline's rapid rise in the political world has fascinated people for months. But now, the spotlight is shifting to the man who captured her heart. Their story is a mix of ambition, resilience, and a deep connection that has shaken up Washington. Caroline's story begins in the small town of Atkinson, New Hampshire, where she was born on August 24, 1997. Growing up in such a tight-knit community gave her strong values and a real sense of belonging, things that would shape her future in unexpected ways. Her parents worked hard, teaching her the importance of resilience, having a strong work ethic, and knowing how to connect with people. Those early lessons set the stage for the determination and optimism that would later fuel her political career. Even as a kid, Caroline stood out. She was a natural leader, always brimming with confidence. Whether she was organizing school events, volunteering in the community, or mentoring younger students, she had an energy that made her impossible to ignore. Atkinson, with its small-town charm and close-knit vibe, gave her a strong foundation, and people who knew her back then still remember her as someone who radiates positivity. She had a can-do attitude long before she ever stepped into the political arena. One of Caroline's biggest strengths has always been her ability to connect with people, a skill that would later make her a powerhouse communicator on one of the world's biggest stages. Her time at Central Catholic High School in Lawrence, Massachusetts only reinforced her drive. She was a standout athlete on the softball field, earning praise for her teamwork and discipline, and her hard work paid off with a scholarship to St. Anselm College. But sports weren't her only focus. She had her sights set on something bigger. During high school, Caroline started paying close attention to politics, particularly Donald Trump's rise to power. Even before she was old enough to vote, she was captivated by his bold speeches and his promise to make America great again. Political discussions were a regular thing in the Leavitt household, especially around the dinner table, where debates could get pretty lively. Her parents encouraged her to think for herself, research issues, and stand her ground, skills that would later serve her well when facing tough questions behind the press podium. Caroline often credits her small-town upbringing and the values her parents instilled in her for much of her success. Even when it came to choosing a life partner, those same values played a role. You won't believe who Trump's new press secretary is married to until you take a closer look at how her roots shaped the person she is today. Ambitious, down-to-earth, and ready to take on the world, it's no surprise that she ended up with someone who shares that same grit and determination. Enter Nick Riccio, a real estate mogul who would ultimately become her husband. Before Caroline and Nick's love story began, she was already laying the groundwork for a powerhouse political career. Her years at St. Anselm College in New Hampshire were transformative. While most students were busy adjusting to newfound independence, Caroline was laser-focused on her future in politics and communications. Caroline's time at St. Anselm College wasn't just about hitting the books, it was about making waves. Leadership, innovation, and a fearless attitude defined her college years, setting her up to become one of the youngest and most talked-about political figures in Washington. She didn't just pick a major, she went for a double: communications and political science, two fields that would later become the backbone of her career. In class, she stood out right away. Her sharp analytical mind and knack for breaking down complex ideas made her a favorite among professors, who still remember her as the student who wasn't afraid to question the status quo. She had a natural curiosity about how media and politics intertwined, which led her to explore big topics like political messaging and how the media shapes public opinion, subjects that would prove invaluable when she became a press secretary for Trump's campaign. But Caroline was never the type to just sit back and study. She wanted to leave her mark on campus, and by her sophomore year, she was already doing just that. She founded St. Anselm's first ever broadcasting club, a move that showed off her entrepreneurial mindset and passion for creating opportunities. The club became a launchpad for students interested in journalism, media production, and public speaking, skills Caroline was already mastering herself. This project not only cemented her reputation as a leader, but also highlighted her ability to build strong teams and foster collaboration, traits that would later make her an invaluable member of the Trump administration. College was also where Caroline's political views really started to take shape. While many of her peers shied away from supporting Trump, especially as his policies and rhetoric sparked heated debates on campuses across the country, Caroline took the opposite approach. She was loud and proud about her beliefs, writing op-eds defending Trump's travel ban and calling out media bias. Her boldness earned her both admiration and criticism, but she didn't back down. In fact, she thrived on the debates that followed, using them as opportunities to sharpen her arguments and stand her ground. This unapologetic commitment to her beliefs is exactly what helped her get to where she is today. At the same time, she was also learning how to balance ambition and personal relationships. She hadn't yet met Nick Riccio, but even back then, the resilience she demonstrated in college mirrored his own story of overcoming obstacles. They were both the kind of people who refused to let doubt or setbacks slow them down. After graduating, Caroline didn't waste a second. She was determined to break into politics, not just as a job, but as something she was truly passionate about. Armed with her degrees, she packed her bags and headed straight for the heart of it all, Washington, D.C. It was here that her love for public service and her talent for communication came together, propelling her into a career that would soon make history. But Caroline's story isn't just about politics. It's also about the person she would eventually marry. Though she and Nick Riccio hadn't crossed paths yet, they were both on a relentless climb, driven by the same grit and determination that would one day bring them together. Caroline kicked off her political journey with an internship at the White House under President Donald Trump. For someone fresh out of college, stepping into that world could have been overwhelming, but not for Caroline. She thrived in the fast-paced, high-stakes environment, quickly proving she had a knack for crafting sharp, effective messages. Her ability to understand and adapt to Trump's bold, straight-to-the-point communication style set her apart, making her a standout among White House interns. It didn't take long for her role to grow. Soon, she found herself working on the White House communications team under then-Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. McEnany became a crucial mentor, teaching Caroline how to handle the relentless pressure of press briefings, navigate media scrutiny, and stay composed under fire. During this time, Caroline fine-tuned her ability to shape powerful narratives, a skill that would later make her a force in the cutthroat world of political communications. After her time at the White House, Caroline's career took another major leap when she joined New York Representative Elise Stefanik's team. As Stefanik's communications director, she built a reputation as a fierce, strategic, and highly effective voice in conservative politics. She wasn't just holding her own, she was commanding attention, making waves, and earning respect from colleagues twice her age. Caroline's talent didn't go unnoticed, especially by Trump himself. He saw her passion, her determination, and her ability to handle the media with confidence, qualities he knew would be valuable if he were to run for the presidency again. But Caroline wasn't content with working behind the scenes. In 2022, she made a bold move, running for Congress in New Hampshire's 1st congressional district. At just 25 years old, she became the youngest female Republican nominee in history. Though she ultimately lost to incumbent Chris Pappas, her campaign was anything but a failure. It caught national attention, electrified conservative voters, and reinforced her status as a rising star within the Republican Party. Caroline's story of resilience mirrors that of her husband, Nick Riccio. Just as Nick went from homelessness to building a multi-million-dollar real estate empire, Caroline proved she was willing to take risks, face challenges head-on, and fight for what she believed in. Their shared drive and determination defined not just their relationship, but also Caroline's role as Trump's press secretary. Caroline's political journey wasn't just about career ambition, it was a clear message. She was here to lead, to inspire, and to help shape the future of the conservative movement. And in 2025, she made history. At just 27 years old, Caroline Leavitt was named White House press secretary in Donald Trump's administration, making her the youngest person ever to hold the position. The previous record had stood since the Nixon administration, but Caroline shattered it, proving that a new generation of conservative voices was ready to step up and take the reins. But her appointment wasn't just about breaking records. It was about skill, resilience, and trust. Trump saw in her the qualities he valued most: loyalty, boldness, and an unshakable commitment to his vision. As she takes on one of the most demanding roles in politics, people can't help but be curious about the woman at the center of it all. Caroline Leavitt isn't just making headlines, she's making history. As soon as Caroline Leavitt was announced as Trump's new press secretary, people were quick to dig into her personal life, and what they found left them stunned. When news broke about who she was married to, the reaction was one of pure surprise. Donald Trump didn't hold back in his praise for Caroline when he announced her appointment, calling her smart, tough, and incredibly effective. Those words weren't just compliments, they summed up exactly why she landed the role. Caroline's talent for delivering clear, confident messages had already been on full display when she worked as Trump's national campaign press secretary. She wasn't just there to defend his policies, she knew how to connect with his supporters in a way that made them feel heard. Her media appearances carried the same directness and energy as Trump's own speeches, making her an obvious choice for the job. But being the White House press secretary is no walk in the park. It's one of the most high-pressure roles in politics, requiring her to face an often combative press corps while acting as the voice of the administration. On top of that, Caroline has the added challenge of representing a president who is known for speaking his mind, often stealing the spotlight himself. Still, those who have watched her career unfold have no doubt that she'll put her own stamp on the role, skillfully balancing her responsibilities with Trump's unpredictable style of communication. One of Caroline's biggest strengths is her ability to stay calm under pressure. Even when faced with tough questions from reporters, she handles them with confidence, never losing her composure. It's this skill that has earned her the respect of both supporters and critics alike. She knows how to take control of press briefings, stick to the message, and ensure that the administration's stance is understood. And as someone who grew up in the digital age, she's fully embraced social media as a powerful tool, making sure the administration's message reaches far beyond traditional news outlets. Her time as press secretary isn't just shaped by her career, it's also influenced by her personal life. As a young wife and mother, she brings a level of relatability that connects with many Americans. Her story of ambition and resilience is mirrored by her husband's own journey, making their partnership a true testament to determination. But while Caroline's achievements are undeniably impressive, it's actually Nick Riccio who has the more unexpected and intriguing story. When people realized who she had married, the shock was real. For someone as outspoken and public-facing as Caroline, her choice of a life partner might not be what people expected. It's a relationship that seems like a perfect contrast. While she thrives in the spotlight, her husband, Nicholas Riccio, prefers to stay far away from it. A powerful real estate mogul, Nick values his privacy above all else, avoiding social media and the public eye entirely. Their marriage is a fascinating mix of opposites, a high-profile political figure sharing her life with a reserved businessman who prefers to operate behind the scenes. Caroline and Nick first met through what she calls a mutual friend at a political function. It was an encounter that immediately highlighted their different worlds. Caroline, deeply embedded in the fast-paced political arena, and Nick, building an empire in real estate while staying far from the public gaze. Their connection, however, proved to be something truly special, forming the foundation of a partnership that continues to defy expectations. Caroline, a rising political star with a natural gift for networking and persuasion, and Nick, a quietly ambitious entrepreneur who lets his work speak for itself, might seem like an unlikely match at first. Yet despite their contrasting personalities, they clicked instantly. Caroline has given small glimpses into their relationship on social media, describing Nick as an introvert and the complete opposite of me. While she thrives on conversation and connection, he brings balance with his quiet, grounded presence. Perhaps it's their 30-year age gap that makes Nick shy away from the spotlight, or maybe it's his remarkable rags-to-riches story that keeps him humble. Nick Riccio, a self-made real estate mogul, built his empire through sheer determination and an unshakable vision. Owning multiple properties across New England, he has a reputation for transforming struggling buildings into thriving spaces. But while he now leads a multi-million-dollar enterprise, his journey wasn't always easy. Caroline doesn't often go into detail about the struggles he faced, but she frequently highlights his resilience and work ethic as qualities she deeply admires. What people didn't expect when they learned Caroline had married a wealthy real estate investor was the backstory that came with it. At first, some dismissed it as just another power couple pairing, until the details of Nick's past came to light. The man now known for his success was once homeless, struggling to find stability. He even used to pretend he wanted to watch a game with friends just so he could go to their house and take a shower. That kind of past doesn't just disappear, it shapes a person, and in Nick's case, it instilled a relentless drive to succeed. Despite his aversion to the limelight, Nick has been a steady force in Caroline's life, supporting her through her meteoric rise to becoming White House press secretary. She has even credited him as one of the key reasons she's been able to juggle the immense pressures of both motherhood and a high-profile career. "He's the best dad and just the best man I've ever met," she once wrote in a heartfelt social media post. Their admiration for each other is clear, and their relationship is built on mutual respect and understanding. Nick's decision to remain behind the scenes allows Caroline to shine in her public role, and she, in turn, respects his desire for privacy by keeping details of their life together mostly out of the public eye. The idea of a press secretary, someone whose career revolves around communication and visibility, marrying a man who avoids social media and prefers a quiet life, might seem like a contradiction. But that's exactly what makes their relationship so compelling. Their story is a reminder that success isn't about fitting into a mold but about finding a partner who complements your journey, even if, on the surface, they seem like your complete opposite. Nick Riccio's rise to success has been a story of quiet determination, grit, and eventual triumph. While many recognize him today as a successful real estate mogul with an impressive portfolio across New England, few truly understand the effort it took to get there. Married to one of the most visible figures in modern politics, he remains an enigmatic figure, preferring to let his work do the talking while his wife commands the spotlight. His success wasn't the result of shortcuts or inherited wealth. Instead, it was built through years of perseverance, strategic thinking, and a relentless work ethic. He started with a simple goal: to transform neglected properties into valuable real estate. What began with one house has grown into a thriving business, known for revitalizing neighborhoods and creating modern, desirable living spaces. Nick's story is one of resilience and quiet strength, a man who built himself up from nothing and now stands as a testament to what's possible with hard work and vision. And while he may not seek the attention that his wife so naturally attracts, his success and determination make him just as compelling in his own right. Nick's ability to see potential where others saw decline is what fueled his business success. His knack for transforming rundown properties into valuable real estate mirrors his own journey. Once overlooked and struggling to survive, he built himself up through sheer determination. His rise wasn't without obstacles, though. While the specifics of his early career remain somewhat unknown, it's clear that his climb to the top required sacrifices and an unwavering commitment to his vision. Today, his ownership and management of multi-million-dollar properties stand as proof of his ability to overcome hardships and turn his ambitions into reality. That same drive for stability and success is likely what makes Caroline feel more confident in her role as Trump's press secretary. Knowing she has a partner who understands the value of hard work, even when sacrifices have to be made, gives her the foundation she needs to thrive under pressure. Balancing motherhood with one of the most high-profile jobs in Washington is no easy feat, and Caroline is the first to acknowledge the challenges. As Trump's White House press secretary, she faces relentless public scrutiny, while also raising her infant son, Nico Robert. Her candid reflections on this balancing act offer a rare glimpse into the personal struggles behind a job defined by intense professionalism, making her story all the more relatable. Caroline's appointment as press secretary in November came just 3 months after she gave birth to Nico. Managing the demands of a newborn, late-night feedings, diaper changes, and the exhaustion that comes with it, is difficult for any new parent. Doing so while preparing to take on one of the most scrutinized roles in American politics? That's another level entirely. From daily press briefings and live TV appearances to managing White House media relations, her schedule is relentless. In a heartfelt Instagram Q&A, Caroline opened up about how she copes with the pressures of balancing work and family. When a follower asked if she ever worried about missing moments with her son, she responded with refreshing honesty. "Yes, I literally pray about this every day. It's very difficult, but it's also all I know." She returned to work just days after Nico was born, jumping headfirst into her responsibilities despite the physical and emotional toll. She credits prioritization, multitasking, and her support system as the key to managing it all. That support system includes her husband, Nick, who she describes as the best dad, and her rock during this demanding chapter of life. His flexibility and unwavering support allow her to focus on her career without losing sight of her role as a mother. Caroline has also spoken about the invaluable help of her extended family, including her mother, who steps in when her schedule becomes overwhelming. Despite the challenges, Caroline sees her role as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, something she hopes her son will one day look back on with pride. "I remind myself this job is temporary," she said. "It's the opportunity of a lifetime, and I know one day he will be proud of his mom." It's a sentiment that reflects her deep commitment to both her career and her family, even under extraordinary pressure. As for Nick, he is at the peak of his career, which has allowed him to step back slightly and focus more on supporting Caroline as she builds her own path. Their dynamic clearly works, creating a stable and loving environment for their son, while also making them appear unstoppable. Naturally, people are beginning to wonder, what's next for the new press secretary and her husband? Caroline is already making history as Trump's youngest ever White House press secretary, but her journey is far from over. The road ahead for her and Nick promises to be just as dynamic as their rise so far. Together, they form a power couple that represents ambition and determination, both in public and private life. While Caroline commands the political stage, Nick continues to build his real estate empire, supporting his family in a quieter yet equally significant way. As a family, their priority is to provide a stable foundation for their son while leaving their mark in their respective fields. Their contrasting personalities, Caroline's extroverted, public-facing approach and Nick's more private, behind-the-scenes nature, create a balance that keeps them grounded as they navigate life under the intense political and media spotlight. So what's next for this extraordinary couple? Will Caroline's political career propel her into even greater positions of influence? How will their shared journey continue to surprise and inspire? One thing is certain, their story is just beginning. Were you surprised to find out who Trump's new press secretary is married to? What do you think lies ahead for this remarkable duo?